Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense. I try to keep it down in the nitty gritty, under 10 minutes. And if it goes over 10 minutes, it's very important. And of course, everything I say is fucking important. Okay. The universe brought you here if you just happen to run across my videos. And of course, my voice sounds annoying because it's intended to be so. Because I do have more degrees than you. Okay? If you have any comments, suggestions, or insults, you put it down below. Okay? Comments, suggestions, insults, and even questions. Most of the wisest people I know are very questioned. They ask questions, and they learn. They educate themselves. Did I waste a minute of your time then? A lot of people tend to not have a good attention span, so I have to waste about a minute of your time, or maybe 1 minute. You never know when I'm going to start talking about it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, when I say light people's brothers and sisters of light and dark, people of the light, I'm talking to you, and I'm also people of the dark, okay, because they already know me, okay, they pretty much already know me, okay, I'm a pandemonium epidemic, you know what I'm saying, academic, you want to say. Now, okay, well, I digress. 1 minute has passed. This video is going to be about my experiences, okay, it's called Parents Love, okay, my personal parents love experiences and how the way they raised me. I was born, okay, out of wedlock, and of course, you can consider me a bastard's child, but Jesus was a bastard's child, so I'm Jesus. Okay. So I'm Jesus. I don't know who my daddy is, but I really frankly don't care. Jesus didn't care. He just said my father's in heaven. So my father's in heaven too. When I leave this flesh, I'm going to become as God, just like Jesus said. I'm going to become as God when I return back to this planet to dominate this world. Oh, not this world. Probably not this world, because other worlds, yes, I could be a god in another world. This world is meant for people to evolve, you know, because Jesus came here. Remember, there's a lot of beings who act like Jesus, Shiva, Horus, and so forth. Anyway, temporary gods. No god stays here forever. Okay, and there's a possibility there is more than just one god. But of course, if you keep your mind open, you become more educated. You become more knowledgeable. Okay, now, okay. As I was growing up, okay, you can say I was pretty much abused. I lived in a box, okay, like I said before. And my parents' love reflected on me in a way that's very unique, but I think I was beyond them, okay. I wasn't an arrogant little boy or anything like that. But I realized that when I asked questions, I got popped for it. See, a question, okay, what's going on with my camera? It's starting to stutter. A question leads to certain answers that I try to find, and I never got those answers. So I already had an inquisitive mind. By the age of 6 or 7, I think it was, yes, indeed. After that situation with my stepdad almost chopped his head off with his jugular, I kind of realized that the voices started kicking in. You know, it started at high altos and pitches and shit. And I was like, okay, I'm here to experience just to know that to learn something. Then why don't I need my parents? Okay, because God was already talking to me, okay? I was already self-aware at the age of 6 and 7, while my brothers and sisters just believed in everything. They were very, you're going to say, euphoric in their belief systems, and I didn't understand why. I was oldest, and I actually tried to tell them. I said, don't you ask questions that, you know, it started off like that, like, question, who's Jesus, okay? Is he just a man, but he died on the cross? Or what if he was lying, okay? See, that question came up and say, what if he was lying? What if it's all of the story is fictitious? And the white man fabricated everything. What about that? Okay, they don't know. Religious people don't think like that. They don't think constructively like that. They just believe. I believe, and I don't care, because everyone else believes. Okay, so that began me on a path of righteousness, self-righteousness. So I know if the Bible says that, you know, if a person is self-righteous in a prideful, boastful, negative sense, then he deserves to burn in hell. But me, I'm a prideful, righteous sense in a positive sense. Okay. And so if I were to talk to God and it was like, okay, I would easily say to Kim, I would say to God, you knew that I was going to fall down that road, and why you was already there. So I heard you. So you can't burn me, okay? Because you the one who created me, right? I can't burn for eternity is something I don't know through ignorance, okay? So but I digress here. You see that the consciousness, you know, the raison d'etre I have in my mindset. I don't have a cognitive dissonance. When I was a kid, I was always asking questions. So my parents' love was like, there was more a distance from me. They didn't really hug me a lot. They didn't give me hugs and kisses and compassion. None of those things was offered to me. I just usually locked myself in my room and I kept playing video games. And stayed away from society as a whole, because it seems like when I was outside, and I got picked on because of the clothes I wore, and my teeth was kind of messed up at that time. Everyone's very superficial, so they will look at you, and then you ask a question. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever went through that, white guys? And even some of y'all black guys and Chinese guys, Asian guys, Indian guys, I know some of y'all guys went through the same shit. And so you got to take extreme measures to keep yourselves away from them. See, with the love I felt from I had more attachment to my mom at one point, but then I realized she was worthless, okay? And of course, she didn't really want to comprehend anything I had to say. So I was like, now I'm a grown man, and I kind of think, okay, now I know why she thinks that way. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Now I'm a psychologist and shit like that. You know, I went through school for shit. You know, blah 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 blah. You know, my degrees are higher than everybody else's in my family's. Isn't that weird? You see, isn't that weird? And so it's maybe not weird, okay? But as I went back with my emotions, I realized that I'm a reflective being. So if you did something evil to me, I have to do evil to you twice. I don't do eye for an eye. I don't do that shit. I usually give you a warning in the steps before it happens, because I think that's logical to tell people, okay, this is the type of person I am. If you do this, you will be caught, and you will suffer 2 times the wrath of Mario, okay? Morpheus. Yes. I'm a pandemonium man, as well as a king, okay? Not just an ordinary merely man. I didn't want to be a merely man, okay? The thing is that I started studying things that I wasn't supposed to be studying at a very early age. By the age of 10 or 15, I was studying magic, motherfuckers. I was studying about the emotional attachments to magic and trying to keep your emotions away from external sources so you can actually focus in on your internal energy. My experiences with my parents was forgivable. I understood why they felt the way they did, because it was they were very childlike compared to me. Okay, and the thing is that as I talked to myself, excuse me, as I talked to myself more and more with the voices and stuff like that internally and through isolation, I started becoming aware more than everyone around me. That's why I say most of you are idiots, which is a fact. Okay, it is a fact. Okay, because most people are lazy and they don't really like to read. Okay, you'll tell them something, and this is what you read it, and then they won't read what you read. They just believe on a liberal aspect. You know what I'm saying? So when I try to express myself, like my problems or situations with, it's supposed to be women they're not very great listeners. Men are more better listeners, okay? If you keep it simple, men listen. I keep most things I say simple, okay? And then women will come up with some kind of preconceived, backwards type shit that usually would not make a lot of sense, okay? But men usually make sense. Like when I told you I almost commit suicide because of one girl, I didn't get no ass, but I used a dildo with her, and I was really emotional. A pimp told me, and that's a man. That's not a madam. A female pimp is a madam, okay? Right? And a pimp is a guy who basically pimps hoes around. You already know that. And he told me this. You're going to say from the devil's mouth that you got to read on women, man. You got to have a personality of charm. I said, oh, that's how it works. All right? Okay, so my camera's starting to act up. But that's my attachments to my parents. It's called parents' love. Most people usually are not eccentric, not like me, okay? They are basically attached to their parents in some sort of way. I have no attachments to no one, okay? And this makes me a great person, okay? Because I only take advice for myself. Isn't that some shit, right? If I go to a psychologist can't give me knowledge about who I am, because the psychologist dare to fuck me up, okay? You don't never know what the ulterior motives behind when people ulteriors are, okay? So why listen to them? Well, you can listen to your fucking self, okay? When the voice says something's gonna happen, and it happens, you gotta believe the voice, okay? So most people don't hear the voice. So that's my, I'm a magician, okay? I did not believe I had all these powers, okay? I get a lot of powers. But peace and love to you, brothers and sisters of light and dark. This is a video about how my attachments to my parents is. I become very, very different, unique. And I just want you to know that.